Suppose you wanted to buy something that costs $1,000, but you don't have $1,000 right now. What can you do? One option is to wait a few months so that you can save up the $1,000 and buy it then. Or you could buy it now by borrowing money. But instant gratification comes at a cost. In this case, that cost is called interest. There are lots of ways to structure loan arrangements. There are fixed and variable rate loans, loans with balloon payments, and some loans even have prepayment penalties. We will look at the simplest version, which is known as a simple interest loan. In a simple interest loan, you are borrowing a specific amount of money for a specific amount of time, and your interest is a specific quantity. Here is the formula for simple interest. Interest equals principal times rate times time. The interest is the actual cost of the loan. The principal is the amount of money being borrowed. The interest rate is the percent of the principal per year that you pay in interest. This is also known as the annual percentage rate, or APR. The time is the length of the loan in years, which is also called the term. The interest rate is the part that takes a bit of thinking to understand. It is a percent of the principal, which means that we're looking at a proportion of the principal. It seems to be clearly worse to pay a larger percent, so this suggests that a higher interest rate is bad, but it's not quite that simple. Since the annual interest rate is also a percent per year, this number is affected by the length of the loan. To understand this a little better, let's think through an example. Let's say you want to borrow $1,000 and you have a choice of two loan options. Option 1. It will cost you $100 to borrow the money and you have 2 years to pay it back. Option 2. It will cost you $150 to borrow the money and you will have 4 years to pay it back. Let's calculate the annual interest rate for both of these scenarios. We can see that option 1 has a higher interest rate than option 2, but the actual amount paid in interest is lower. The difference is in the amount of time that you have to pay back the loan. As you can see, even in the case of simple interest, it's not obvious how to determine whether one loan is better than another. The answer might depend on other factors that we haven't even considered, such as income and risk tolerance. Unlike what you might have thought about math previously, sometimes there's not a single right answer, and that's something you're going to want to get used to when it comes to mathematical reasoning. The ability to critically analyze a situation is much more important than merely the ability to calculate results. This has been a brief introduction to simple interest. In class, we'll be looking at compound interest, which happens when we start charging interest on the interest.